Hey guys, it's Sherry Castro with Turner Real Estate Network, and we're getting local today. I have invited a new friend of mine, Mike Harvey. He's with Canine Coach. Say hi, Mike.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Doing good, Mike. I'm doing good. Thank you for joining me today.
No problem.
Obviously, I reached out to you. I heard a lot of great things regarding, your dog whispering capabilities.
Yeah.
with Mad Max, which we're on our way to dropping the first part of his name, by the way. He'll be officially just Max, no longer the Mad Max that we all knew and loved.
Maybe replace it with Mad with something else.
But it came from he was like the other crazy Aussie Mad Max the movie, so we thought it was befitting.
Gotcha.
Anyhow, so thank you again for giving me your time. What I'd like to do is, just talk a little bit of kind of how you started with your business and how long you've been training dogs.
All right. So I got started in 2002, so 18 years. I graduated in 2002 and immediately moved from Cape Coral to Sarasota, and got really fortunate that I was working at Gecko's on State Road 70, and there was these people that came that owned a kennel, and I said, hey, can I be your dog trainer? And they gave me like a room, and I had like a couple runs where I would bring in dogs. Obviously it was slow at the start, but I caught like my first vet, and then once I started getting vet recommendations, things really started taking off. So that's how I got started.
Very cool. Very cool. So I've been trying to attend as many classes. I know you have them ongoing with, obviously with, some of your programs, 3 days a week, I think.
3 days a week. Yeah.
So how many dogs are you training at this point? Because when I was there, it was like playtime. It was like, I felt like I was at a dog park. There was a lot of people there.
So recently, because it's just been ungodly hot and the rain, it's around 10 to 15 maybe. You kind of came on right at the beginning of the shutdown, and I think you got like after about a month of shutdown, people were starting to get a little stir crazy.
Right.
Really, were just that was their only outlet for their dog was the class. So I started seeing people that I haven't, my programs are lifetime, so they could come whenever they want.
Right.
And I was seeing people come back that I haven't seen in a while just because, their dogs needed some kind of outlet. And also it was, the weather was a lot more cohesive back then too. It wasn't like, you're sitting out there for 20 minutes and you're about to die.
Well, maybe I would say Max was probably about to die with all his hair, but
right.
Depends on who you're asking there.
Like half his weight.
Yeah. So, you've been in this, 20 years now?
It's going to be 20. I'm coming up on 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to 2 different dog training schools. I went through a bunch of workshops and seminars. I have a group of people that, I went to school with, and we all kind of like, hey, did you hear about this guy? You got to go see him. We'll make a trip of it. Anywhere in the United States, you'll see me going and hanging out with a bunch of dog trainers, learning something new or a new perspective or whatever the case may be. I got to meet the monks in New Skeet. That was pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And those are guys who are like, they got like books and, they're pretty well knowledgeable guys.
Absolutely. So, 20 years, is there a certain type of breed dog that you typically are seeing come through the gamut or looking for services? Is it really the parents and not the puppies?
It's the cosmic joke in the dog training world is we're really people trainers. If you're not able to get the people to be on board with the training and be consistent with it, they're not going to have success. But,
right.
Because a lot of the majority of the dogs I see are rescues. So you're going to see a lot of lab mixes or pit mixes, a lot of hounds because of the south. We're in the southeastern United States. So you got, a lot of, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, even a lot of hunting, Tennessee, a lot of hunting communities. So you're going to see a lot of hound coming from this area. So any, pit mixes, hound mixes, I've been getting a lot of Aussies for some reason. I don't know if you started a trend.
Well, I have been telling everyone about, some of the notable differences I've seen, obviously, in Mac. And it's not something that happens overnight. And as you said, it is training the people as well. And, I have a family, there's 3 of us, and we're all on different schedules, and Max is wondering whose schedule he's on. But he is quickly picking up on, habits, and routines and understanding things. For instance, when he knows it's time to be calm and place, like I can come home and he'll be excited, to greet me. But then the first thing he does is he grabs his little Kong and he goes straight to his place. And I'm like, oh, good boy.
Yeah. He's like, I'm really excited. Let me just go over and gnaw on this for a while.
And he kind of,
but that's good. That's good.
He did that himself with the Kong. Like I never taught him that. So I think through the training that you have implemented and that we're learning to implement throughout, the day, he's starting to realize, okay, I'm getting excited.
What do I do with myself?
What do I do with myself? So I'm really excited, and I wanted to give you that feedback. And as far as my success story, do you have maybe another one that stands out in your mind that?
I was thinking about that, and there was one of the first aggression cases. It was a German Shepherd, and the people had bought him from a company in Orlando, and come to find out, it wasn't a really good situation. They were selling these protection trained family dogs, and this dog in particular, the only thing it attacked was other dogs. And this is where I was going from Cape Coral to Sarasota for a period of time, and the dog was in Naples. So you met Missy, my older dog, but she was like a year old at this point. And so I was traveling up to Sarasota, and I had the dog in the back with a cage in the back, and then Missy was in the back seat. And I pull out of my driveway, and I turn around the corner, and I look back, and the dog has Missy by the neck. So I had to hurry up, pull my car, put it in park, come out, grab the dog. I had to pin him. Missy ran back to my house, and I'm like, oh my God, this dog's going to be a handful. And it was the first time I documented what I was doing on video, and I was able to show them, what the dog was doing. And then after, it was, Missy in her younger days, she just was like, she doesn't take no for an answer. She's like, come on, you're going to like me. And the dog was like, sitting in the corner, it's in the video. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this chick, but at the end of the video, they're playing. And then, the lady was just, was so, I would say crying with happiness because she saw her dog actually doing what she wanted him to do. So, and those are the kind of cases like, people bring these dogs in for family members, and, in Sarasota in particular, it's such a dog friendly place. And, you want your companion to go everywhere you want to go with them. And when you're limited to that, it kind of, there's a lot of things that could happen in that dynamic, resentment, or isolation, or, whatever the case may be. And when they find, they don't want to give up on the dog. And then when they finally achieve a point where their expectations have been met, they get the life that they wanted, and that's always a good feeling when you could help people do that. And dogs aren't getting unnecessarily put down for no reason. It's just a behavior problem. It just needs, sometimes it's minor, sometimes it's, you got to put a lot of elbow grease into it. But, I think every dog can be trained as long as there's nothing medically wrong with them. Those are the only things that can't be overcome.
Yeah. I mean, and I can agree, because a temperament is coming from somewhere of an experience, or, a falsely learned behavior, and
no socialization,
which was what happened with, Max. Max, was raised in a townhouse where he didn't really see people or things, and it backed up to, just the patio even backed up to a road. So he really didn't see anyone or anything. And then, you let him out and he's like, what's this?
Yeah, that Aussie drive kicks in and he's like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. Well,
Anything that moves, I'm going after. Well, I'm
right,
not in this case, but
right.
um,
Good point. Um, there's probably, people watching now, and, they have, their little furry family members, and thinking about, how they have frustrations or things of, looking for, questions or options of things to do. Is there any advice that you might, give someone right now who's struggling with, how to train their pet?
right. And I get a lot of this, like, and like there's so much a wealth of information. There's a lot of DIY videos um, on YouTube and stuff like that. As you know, there's certain techniques out there that you can do with your dog, and you got to find that one that you're comfortable with, and one that's is effective. And then, if you are trying to do it on your own, don't get frustrated. Don't blame the dog because there's something that you might be missing, and that's where you need to call in a professional and see what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right and how them improve upon it. Um, you know, I remember before I became a dog trainer, I got books and videotapes, and I remember getting frustrated with my dog, but you can only interpret so much from a book or a video. You watch Caesar Milan and you're like, man, did you see how quickly he got that dog under control? And then the person at home tries to do it. He's like, why can't I do it? Well, Caesar's been doing it since he was a kid.
Right.
He looks like he's a master, but it's just he's been doing it for so long. It looks like flawless. So I see people that are athletic. They do very deep training, but you get them to try to hit a button and say a word at the same time that they've never done. There could it could be a disconnect, and there's all this timing involved. You got to understand some level of how the dog learns, and how to address that to make sure they're getting what you're asking them to do.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, I guess the first step is, asking, admitting there's a problem and asking
that you need help, and it's okay, and people just really, because they're family members, they rely on human psychology rather than understanding that your dog thinks and learns and communicates totally different than you do. And, that's a big disconnect too. So, there's some pretty good books out there that can explain that, like Dr. Vogel, A Dog's Mind. I thought that was a really a great book that I read, and it talks about the socialization as puppies and stuff like that, and when how aggression, a lot of the aggression is developed, and a lot of the aggression is fear-based. And that book showed me like what was going on, why was that happening, and then you take that unsocialized dog and you put them into a family that wants to just love them while they're loving unsocialized, insecure dog, and it can manifest into all these other problems. What did again, like, you're human, you're compassionate, we that's what makes us a different species than all other mammals. We have compassion. Dogs don't.
Right.
They're very black and white.
Well, I know that, I appreciate everything that you did for my family and Mad Max, and I enjoy coming to your you usually, like you said, 3 days a week you do your repeated
Tuesdays, Thursdays,
correct,
nights, and then Saturday mornings.
Or your training after they've completed the program. I attend the one over on Calabasas at Higgins Pet Resort. What are the other locations that you?
Marina Jacks at 9. And then we switch that to 10 in the fall because the weather changes, and
Okay.
It's a nice park because it's Hagen's. We're in a fenced-in training area, and dogs get in a routine. And I like to go out on the town in a different location, and it's open end. There's dogs that are walking by. There's people on bikes, skateboards, squirrels, kids, playing in the park. So it adds a real life situation, and that's what I try to get people to do, is train their dog for real life situations, so they're confident that their dog is going to be responsive to them in difficult situations.
Right. Well, if someone wanted to reach out to you, Mike, because obviously they've been watching some of my videos on Facebook, or have heard obviously the legend Mike Harvey. How would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I got my own website. Right now it's sarasotadogtraining.com or caninecoachfl.com. Either one will work.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm on Twitter, but like I don't really do anything. I don't think Twitter's a real great source, but my Facebook page has a lot of videos, testimonials, and I'm pretty good at messaging back if you want to go through that platform.
Excellent. All right. Well, I wanted to say thank you again for everything you've done with Max, and then also joining us, with the Turner team here today, and providing us a little local insight. And if anybody has any questions for Mike, reach out to him on any of his social networks.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Sherry. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.